so happy we alive.
Good evening, and welcome to Louisville Late Night. This evening, we're in beautiful Louisville, Kentucky, and it's 5505. 5505, and we are just absolutely thrilled to have with us Amy Goodman, who's the host of Democracy Now! And we're going to be seeing her visit here in its entirety. Her wonderful lecture at the Clifton Center is all going to be on Louisville Late Night, and you're going to hear a lot about Amy there. But anyway, here's Amy's new book. It's called The Exception to the Rulers: Exposing Oily Politicians, War Profiteers, and the Media That Love Them. A little quote on the front: pick up this book, read it, and go raise some hell. By Michael Moore. And there's a lot of other great quotes in there too. But I got Amy here with me right now, and I just want to ask Amy a few questions that come to mind. Amy, tell me this.
I am amazed at your technology and your use of it.
I just found things work better, the simpler the better. Now this is just something that popped into my mind. I'm so happy. I feel like what you're doing with words, I do with music. And what you're doing with all of these stations, I'm a little oasis in a sense here in Louisville, and I've been wanting to hook up with you all for so long, and it's just such a wonderful thing that you're here and we're together right now. But anyway, just one thing that pops into mind. Andrew Weil, he says that he's one of a number of people that say that watching the news depresses people. Whether they like it or not, just watching the regular mainstream news can be really depressing.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I think it can if you watch the local commercial news, because you're being fed really it's just a megaphone for those in power. But I think real information, I think getting reality reflected is very empowering, no matter how difficult that reality is, because I have a great deal of faith in people that if you have the information, you can decide what to do with it. It's the lies that are a problem. That's very disempowering.
I agree with you totally, and the fact is that Democracy Now! Is extremely refreshing. It's like a breath of fresh air in a very stale climate. But aside from that, and I've watched Democracy Now! Quite a bit. I love the show, but there is a lot. I mean, somebody made that remark about the Jon Stewart show during your little thing, and then you had a nice thing that you said also, that that's comedy and that you're serious. But, I mean, you didn't say that.
Right, but what I was responding when people said they get their information from Jon Stewart, I understand that. Most people get their news from late night comics on television. But Jon Stewart is a lot more serious when it comes to journalism than the people who call themselves journalists.
Right. But do you think it's possible in Democracy Now! That there could be a problem with so much negativity? I mean, you're looking at a lot of what people don't want to see, or they don't want to, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to know about this.
But that's what I always am amazed by. I travel around the country and I talk to many, many people as we go on this Unembed the Media tour, calling for the unembedding of the media, challenging that whole practice, which has really meant that the media has reached an all-time low in this country. We've got to separate it from the government. It shouldn't be embedded in the government. But yes, we deal with very difficult issues.
Okay,
and they might seem depressing, but I think people hearing a reflection of their own views makes a big difference.
Right, just the process of getting it out there and getting the juices flowing makes some hope. But here's something that's not clear to me, is that people, I mean, some people want kind of a simple answer, a simple solution to situations. And what do you see from all of the breadth of your point of view, what do you see in this world with thousands of years of nationalistic and patriotic killing and religious wars and just all kinds of crap going on that we don't even know about? Where is there real hope? Where do you see that hope coming? Is it through the media? Is it through democracy?
I think that the media are the most powerful institutions on earth.
And how do you see it happening?
As I said in the speech, more powerful than any bomb, than any missile, the Pentagon has deployed the U.S. media. It is a weapon, it is a tool, but it's a tool for change. And I don't know the solutions to problems,
I mean,
but
do
I
you
think
believe there's a solution?
Yes.
You think things are going to get better?
Yes, I think that we cannot afford war in the 21st century. And if people saw the effects of war, babies dead on the ground, women with their legs blown off from cluster bombs, I think they would say, no, we cannot afford this. I think Americans are compassionate people. They care. But if they don't see, well, then they can't know. And I think solutions come out of discussion, debate, dialogue. That's what the media should provide.
But is there anything that you've been exposed to where you can say, okay, here's the outcome, is a globe of people living in peace, having international institutions
I think we have to come up with our
solve
own solutions. I think whole populations, communities do. The answer is not to lay down another solution. It is for people to come up with their own solutions. That's when it counts, when it is a part of them, when it is homegrown. But you can't do that based on impartial or wrong, or rather partial or wrong information. You have to know what's going on to make decisions.
Okay, let me ask you one last question, changing the subject totally. You know that in Australia right now, some Australian woman is threatened to be put to death in Indonesia, the Far East, one of those real friendly places you like to visit, I understand. You're aware of this, that she is supposedly smuggled marijuana into Indonesia. Now she's supposed to face a firing squad.
I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but
you
I'm
heard that
against the
story?
death penalty.
Okay, it was on CNN this morning.
Huh.
This Australian apparently smuggled some marijuana into Indonesia. Now she's up to face a firing squad. They're having her trial.
Huh.
Okay, now do you not think that the benign or relatively, is there any benign power in the world that should go in and take out these backward thinking people?
Well, I can't comment on a story I don't really know about.
I see.
But I'd like to get more information on it.
Okay. Well, let me just say this. What do you think about marijuana decriminalization?
I think that there has to be an honest discussion, and that's what the media has to provide. I mean, politicians are so afraid of this.
Yeah.
I come from New York, and there tens of thousands of people are in prison for non-violent drug offenses. These are very frightening times. They've been put away for decades under what's known as the Rockefeller drug laws. They haven't been changed. And you look at who is in jail. You look at the color of the people in jail. You look at the fact that they are poor. This is simply being used as a way to imprison populations. And that all has to be challenged. And we have to have an open discussion about it.
And the reason I mention that is because naively, I've had several naive thoughts. One was that when Russia and the U.S., the Cold War ended, we'd be in, utopia, which hadn't quite happened, but still possibilities. And another is the notion of reforming decriminalization was an individual event in itself. Now it seems to me like it's more directly tied to the overall peace and justice around the globe. And that's part of the reason I'm talking to you today, because I think that we have to, those of us in the decrim movement, have to work hand in hand with the people who are on the front line attempting to bring justice and peace and light and love to this world.
Well, one thing we can certainly say is that what is called the drug war is often used as simply a way to funnel money into repressive militaries, and is not actually lessening people's dependence on drugs. That's not the motivation.
Oh,
that's for sure.
We agree on that. Listen, I know you need to go, and it's just been a joy being here with you.
Well, thank you very much for.
And it's kind of a funny thing that it's 5505. It's,
yeah.
Here we are, and here we go.
Here, maybe you'd like to get a look at this bumper sticker.